I'm live. Hey everybody, you are watching Ballerina Badass. My name is Georgia Reed, and welcome to a Pointe Shoe Party. Haven't done one of these in a while. I know I did sort of a sample one a few weeks back, but we are going to get into the pointe shoe sewing today, which I'm going to need to get some more pointe shoes, because if y'all don't know, you know what, before we get into that, let's pause. First things first, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the ding-a-ling thingy. I will be doing a lot more live streams and things like that. And if you hear that hesitation in my voice, that is my perfectionist inner critic just going, oh, you're not good enough. No, you can't. And so we're going to fight that urge to run screaming from the room and keep going. So, pointe shoe parties. I was doing these back when I was dancing full time. I am now coming back to ballet again, but with a whole different perspective. And this one might be a bit snarkier or a bit more, I don't know what, a lot of different things. Just, it gets different every time you come back. That's all I can say, you guys. And I've got a snuffle nose, I think, because I tried to clean something. Let's reach up. There we go. Yeah. Now, like, with the new perspective that I have on life, I'm looking at ballet and going, wait, what are the darker sides? Is it healthy? Is it good? There are healthy things. And it's like a family member. You love them. And then also sometimes you hate them. And if you have any unresolved issues between you and your family member, you know, that kind of trauma or things like that, intergenerational trauma, etc., and you don't address that, you don't address the issues, then they get buried down and they fester. And so I'm realizing I have a lot of unresolved issues with ballet that I'm trying to work through. And one of my big concerns is that what I want is for this channel to continue to be inspirational and entertaining and not just meh, but at the same time I want to be authentic. And so sometimes that means sharing the meh. So finding the balance. A safe way to avoid all of that is just do a pointe shoe party where we sew pointe shoes. Yeah, and then I can put the pointe shoes on later and go to the bar and see if I can even keep doing this. Also, I've been doing push-ups, which has been really cool. Like, I'm getting really cool different shapes in my arms, but it's a much different shaped arm from a ballet arm. So sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, this is just horrible. And then I think about the fact that I think that, and that thought is horrible. I judge the thought. Because as dancers, we are so self-critical. I saw something come up on TikTok. Was it TikTok? No, it was on Twitter. Someone on Twitter posted, they reposted a link to an article on Jessica Simpson from like the early aughts. And it's got this picture of Jessica Simpson. She looks beautiful. I think Jessica Simpson is beautiful. And she's in this cute black tank top and jeans. She's got 2 belts on. And then like the title of the article, excuse me, was something like, it was talking about how chubby she was. Which is insane. And the person who was tweeting this said, oh my God, I can't believe people thought, like the media was calling Jessica Simpson chubby, when in this photo you can see she's tiny, she's beautiful, she's like a size 6. It's ridiculous. And probably in some styles she's smaller. And then everyone was commenting about how they are so messed up because of all of their weight issues and body issues because of how they were raised in this media society of you have to be skinny, you have to be skinny, you have to be skinny. And that's been going on for years. And then I'm looking at it from a ballet perspective and going, oh my God, now take it to like the nth degree where they're saying, oh my God, I could never be a size 6 or 4. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, we had to be like a size -0. And even that wasn't thin enough. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just crazy. So whoever is on here right now still watching, thank you for being here. Be sure to drop a comment in the box. I'd love to know where you're from, where you're watching from. And if you don't want to say, you can say, I don't want to say. Or just don't say. That's cool too. We can get on to the pointe shoes because I'm sure that's why you might be here. So, today, the reason why I have run out of shoes is because we were keeping my shoes in the garage during the pandemic when I was not dancing at all. I was working a full-time day job and just making as much money as I could. And rats got into our garage, and they chewed up 2/3, 3/4 of my pointe shoes. And so bye pointe shoes. Yeah, and this is one of the few pairs that survived. They're Russian points, handmade in Russia. I actually do love these shoes. It'll be interesting to see now that I've had time off, will they still work for me? And I'm trying to come at a new perspective on ballet technique and taking care of my feet. It's a whole nother thing, but we'll see. The point is, I may as well sew these shoes up, give them a go. Give them a go, love. You can see here, so this is one of the things that I used to do all the time with my shoes because my feet are different, and I'll show you them in a minute. But, well, maybe not in a minute, maybe later. Some people, I don't know if anybody's feet are exactly alike, but mine are definitely not alike. They operate differently. My left foot is much more pointy than my right foot. The way that the toes are shaped are a little bit different. My left foot's a little bit bigger. So I have to fit my shoes for me. Once they're fitted, it's the shoes don't swap, okay? So I mark them, which makes things faster, especially, you're trying to put shoes on. If they're brand new for a while, once you get into a groove, you can start to see things that make it pretty obvious which foot is which. But I mark them, so I put a moon here. You can put a different shape, but I do that also so that when I had 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 pairs of this same shoe, then I know, oh, this pair goes together, that pair goes together. I don't know if people try saying, I'm going to put the right foot of this pair on with the left foot of this pair. That'd be interesting. Anyways, you can see here's the left moon. So then I know, okay, left moon and right moon, these are together. I've already done the elastics. I don't do them too tight. Now these have stretchy drawstrings. I don't mind that. It just, I think I like it a little better. I do have a very sensitive right Achilles heel that if there's too much pressure on it, it just flares up. I have tendinitis on in my right Achilles heel. So I keep these actually, even though you can see there's a little pull here, it's still pretty loose. And I also make sure when I sew my elastics on, I don't put them right at the heel. I try to put them a little bit more to the side, so there's just a little less pressure pulling on these on my ankles. And what else? I do cut the elastics pretty small. Oh, I forgot my lighter. I may need to enlist my partner in crime, my hubs, see if he can get me a lighter. Let me see if I can grab him. You know what? I'm gonna run and grab it really quick. If you're here, just stay put. I know everybody's going, what the hell's going on? There's nobody in the feed. Well, let me see if I can grab this really quick. I'm coming back, you guys. I'm coming back. Yes, I'm coming back. Okay, I'm here. Do I have a lighter in here? Let's see. No. Hey, yes. Lighter. Needed a lighter to burn the ends. So, okay. What I need to do today, and we're going to be on for an hour or so, and then I've got to pop off and get on with the rest of my day. But I need to darn the toe, which you can see on this pair here. I've done it on this pair here of Grishkos, right? So you can see this is how I darn them. Some people will darn the whole bottom. Some people will make sure they take the satin off before they darn it. This is just my method here. All right, if you can see that. And the thread that I use, it's like, I don't know if it's kite twine or what. I've had this twine, it was like a huge, thick bundle. It's not stretchy, but I use that, and I use this is a smaller needle. Oh, I guess I wonder if I'm going to use this needle or not. I've got thicker ones, but if you go too thick, then you rip into the pointe shoe. It's tricky finding just the right needle. I don't think this one's thick enough, is it? Let me see, I'm going to give it a test. Yeah, it's okay. So look what I'm doing here, you guys. To test out my needle, right? Whoops, sorry, you can see that. I'm just doing a little grab. So when you do the darning, you're grabbing some of the satin, but then like just a couple of layers, 1 or 2 layers underneath it as well. So it goes through pretty easily. That's what you want. And then to push it through, because sometimes it's hard, I like to have a thimble, and that helps push it through, okay? But I'm going to need to get this ready. So I need to darn the toes. Then let's put this back where it belongs. Got to be careful with the needles, y'all. After that, I am going to need to... What are you doing here? That's interesting. You don't belong here. You don't belong here! Okay, let's see. We are going to then need to sew the elastic on the backs of the shoes as such. And then finally, ribbons. I've got an old pair of block ribbons. What kind are these? These stretch double-face soft ribbon. Let's see what we got. Some of my leftovers, you guys. Oh, nice. It's just a nice satin ribbon by Block. The stretch ones can be nice, but the stretch ones also sometimes, for me, can also cause irritation on my Achilles tendon. So these are things you got to test out and think about. I think I'm going to start with the darning, and let's get a little music going here. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if you guys can hear that okay, but I can. Whoever's still watching, hey, thank you for being here today. Thank you for being here. I just got off of a TikTok live stream with my partner in crime, Movie Boy. We are working on a Fanimation series. It's a mashup of SpongeBob and Bob's Burgers. It's really cool. Okay, I do like to double my thread, and I think that's about... Here's the thing, if you make it too long, if you keep going, it's going to wear out up here and it'll break. So you got to feel it out. I like to use this nice little seam ripper. This is my mom's seam ripper right here. It's old school. You can get smaller ones. You can put the needle right where I can see it. Right where I can see it. There we go. All right. Now, the other tricky thing is that it's really easy for this thread to get bunched up and knotted. So patience is key here. Which can be like, oh my God, when you have to sew 10 pairs of shoes, and you're like, do I have patience to sew 10 pairs of shoes? Good Lord. Just want to get it done. But once you get into a groove, the more you do it, it becomes cathartic. It becomes meditative. I actually miss doing it, you know. It's one of the reasons I'm doing it today. What you see me doing, I'm kind of chewing on the end to flatten it. There we go. That's a little bit flat. Oh, Dawn! Hey, Dawn, you're here. What's up? How are you? How have you been? How's life going? You sewing any shoes today? Dawn is one of our regulars here. Love it. I so appreciate staying in touch with y'all. It means a lot. Okay, you do not want to flatten. Flatten, I say. Flatten, I say. Go through the hole. I know I could use one of those threaders, but I don't want it. There, haha. Carefully drawing it through because again, if you're not see how it does this little spinny thing? That's the bunching up. Yeah, you're bunching. Yeah, I know. We're not happy about any of that, are we? No, we're not. There we go. That's a better. La la la. There we go. Okay, so we got the needle. We got the thread. Gonna tie it off. Trick with tying it off, right? One is getting it. Come here. I want to get these ends to match. They're pretty close, but now. Come on. There we go. Matchy match. Good. Go over there. I like to do a single knot, but make it really, you just got to make sure it's a good knot. You don't want the knot to come loose, but if it's too big a knot, believe it or not, if it's too thick of a knot, it can actually mess up your platform because this knot, you're kind of rolling over it. It's funky. So you want to find a way to get the knot, place it somewhere as you're sewing in a way that you're not going to step on it. You're not going to be turning directly on the knot because that also wears the knot down, which comes loose. All those things. You're thinking about that in terms of placement. So let's get this sucker done. Doing a single here. Close to the end as possible. You can also use a little bit of nail polish to help make sure it's not going to come loose, but again, you have to be careful that it doesn't become the kind of knot that you can feel when you're dancing. I swear to God, it's just like The Princess and the Pea. When you are dancing, especially in ballet, it's like you feel everything. You sense every tiny shift. It's such an obsession, right? How are you not loving this rocker rat hair? I don't know. Okay, so something else I think about. If this is my right shoe, right? For me, my feet do tend to kind of roll in that way a bit, okay, because I have the Grecian foot, so my big toe is slightly shorter than my second toe, which makes it fall a little bit. I can use pads on top. I need to actually start working on that to find out, is there a way to do it? I've had times in my life. Hannika! Hi, Hannika! What's up? Thanks for being here! Oh my gosh! Yay! I love it! Oh, and Don says, oh, you're going well? Yep, work schedule. Don, I feel you. You know? It's just all about keep coming back. I took 3 more years off. I keep taking like these huge times off, and I'm like, oh, and I'm coming back again. Who's the abusive one here? Is it ballet or is it me? I wonder. Okay, back to the shoe. So, right foot, if I'm gonna roll that way, then maybe I'm not gonna start the knot on that side. Maybe I'll start the knot over here, where it's a little less leany. Does that make sense? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna actually put it. Do I want to put it up there? I want to put it here. I like it on the corner. It's all coming back to me now. There are moments of frustration and then I'm but you always make it right. We're not doing the high notes yet. We have not properly warmed up our voice. Okay, so I pulled it through. There's your first pull through, right? Now, there's different ways you can do this. I can pull it back just a little bit and then put my needle through between the 2 threads just to kind of, there we go, ensure that it will not pull out. Ta-da! Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. We'll see. Okay. Dawn says she's going to be jet gluing some shoes that she's already wearing. Yes, if y'all don't know about jet glue, get it. You can use jet glue. You can use shellac, but jet glue is just a much faster and stronger way. There's some great videos on YouTube of dancers using jet glue. They'll show you where to place it in your shoe to kind of harden it. It can bring your shoes back to life, so to speak, and or lengthen their lifespan, because, you know, these shoes, it's just fabric and glue. So when you add sweat and pressure, they break down really flippin' fast. And it's really important to just keep your shoes as dry as possible between wearings. So you want to get them out of your bag as fast as possible. Better yet is to have a mesh bag that you can clip to your dance bag. The pointe shoes, when you take them off after class, you put them in the mesh bag, right? You make sure you pull out any kind of filler you have in there. Don't leave the filler in there. Take your lamb's wool out. Take your little filler out. Take your perfect fit toe covers. Pull them out of the shoe. Get them in a separate place, right, so they can dry out. And if you can kind of clean those things, whether it's using some rubbing alcohol or just airing them out, whatever you have to do. But then you want to put them out somewhere at home where they can really dry out. And you can put them in the oven at 200 degrees. You warm the oven to like 200 degrees, right? Then you turn the oven off. Then you put the shoes in. I have a video where I'm doing that somewhere way back in the back of my videos. Anyways, and so in a cooling oven, so the oven is not on, remember the oven is not on, it's already cooling down. The shoes will get really hard from that as well. Anyways, the point is, I'm glad you are jet gluing, Dawn. Oh, Miriam, hey, oh, how do you say that? Abu Baker? Is it Abu Baker? Is it Abubakar? That's a great name, Mariam Abu Baker. Hello, amazing videos. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Here we go. So we've got the first knot started, right? I've got a nice pull. I don't want to pull too hard again because this thread, maybe there's a better thread out there. If you guys have a preferred thread you like to use, let me know. What I do for mine is I'm going to go from down to up. I'm going to go up like this. So let's do it again, right next to my original knot. I'm grabbing. Each time you got to feel it out. How much of the layers of fabric can you grab If you grab too many, then the needle won't go through, and trust me, the needle will break. I've done it many times. Then you're trying to figure out how to get a broken needle out of your shoe. It's a lot. One of the things I do, I hold a finger here as I'm pulling it through. That keeps the thread from twisting. I've got a lot of videos on here showing me sewing shoes. I can probably tag them, but if you look through my playlists, you can find more. So I've done that. Now what I'm going to do, you guys can see. So I went down up. Where are we looking? Right there. You can see there's a tiny little loop. I'm going to come back around and go through that loop, kind of like a crisscross, like an X. Let me get a few of these done, and then I'll show you kind of how it looks. And again, it's been a while, so I will be thrilled if these look even remotely neat. Okay, there we go. So anyways, yes, my husband and I are working on a fanimation called SpongeBob's Burgers, and it is a mashup of SpongeBob SquarePants and Bob's Burgers. He is doing all of the animation. We both co-wrote the script. We are co-creating all the music for it, and we are doing all the voices for it. And it's so much fun, you guys. And if you do the TikTok, he is also on YouTube under Movie Boy. It's a purple cow, and it's spelled MOOVIEBOY. And then he is also on TikTok. I am also on TikTok, but not as Ballerina Badass. I'm on TikTok as Georgiffy, GEORJIFFY, because Jiffy was my nickname growing up. Georgia is my name now. And that channel is like a comedy fun channel, and I'm just getting my groove on it, where I'm developing, okay, I'm like, okay, now I know what kind of movies, what kind of posts and videos I want to make for it. So I'm having a lot of fun with that, because that is more of my focus now. And it's so interesting, because you think about the contract movie stars back in the day when they signed with RKO and all those movie studios. They were singing, they were dancing, they were acting, they did it all. They had lessons, and they did it in the movies, and it was just great. And but they were under contract to do that, you know what I mean? Doing it all on your own, it takes a lot of investment and time, and it's great for my ADHD brain. I don't know if any of you guys deal with neurodivergency or ADHD, but I for sure do, and so shiny new object syndrome is a thing. But I have a lot of passions. But finding the balance of those passions and then making sure it doesn't become muddied, it's tricky, finding that balance. So, okay, I'm going to do one more. This is still not looking beautiful yet, but I seem to remember that, see, I'm using my thimble to help nudge the needle through. I took a lot of layers that time. There we go. There we go. And again, I don't want to pull just on the needle, because that's going to weaken the thread right there. Now I'm going to pull on the thread itself. And again, I'm holding my thumb here as it comes through. If that makes sense, you guys. Okay, this is looking pretty janky, but you can sort of see what I'm doing. There you go. There's one good X right in there, right? So I'm going up, and then I go back around through on a diagonal, then I go down to up vertical, then I come back around underneath it on a diagonal. So that's sort of my method. Everybody has their own style. You will find your own style. There is no one right way, and the great thing is it's what suits you and your feet. It's always good to watch lots of different videos to get great ideas and inspiration, and sometimes even what not to do. But that's something that I just love about social media. I mean, my God, it's just a living, breathing encyclopedia of knowledge. And some of it I know. You're like, well, but you don't have anyone editing for content. Well, on the one hand, that's true. You got to be mindful. Like, consider the source. Who's the person you're watching? Do they really know what they are doing? Are they certified? If they're not certified, well, are they still an accurate source? You have to decide on all of that again for yourself. But on the other hand, then you don't have the gatekeeping, right? I mean, because the other side of this is, well, only certain people are disseminating the information, and they have their own agenda with how they're editing it. So, there's always more than one side to the coin. I'm going to gently pull this through. There we go. All right, so for any of y'all who are still in here, how are you guys doing? How is life treating you? I know for me, man, life is pretty freaking awesome. I feel very, very lucky. You know, I've got a partner in crime who I adore and who I am very lucky to say adores me back. And we've been together a long time. We got 2 amazing kitty cats. We have 2 amazing kids. They're out there in the world, and I don't know what they're up to right now, but they are amazing. They're my stepkids. But they're his kids. And then, you know, got this great garden. I just saved, I just rescued a monarch caterpillar because we have a milkweed plant out in our garden, but I'm watching, and several of the other monarch caterpillars have already been murdered by wasps or spiders or whatever's out there, because I'm watching, I'm like, oh, look, a new baby, and then suddenly it's like dead on the ground, and I'm going, okay. So this one, I brought one in, and I made a little terrarium for it, and it is happily munching away in the kitchen as we speak. So I feel really happy about that. If I could get one monarch butterfly going, because those fellas, they need help. Miriam is asking, is my ankle okay? Oh my god, thank you for asking. Yes, my ankle is great. Now, I still haven't, I've got to go to a full ballet class. I did one live stream earlier this week of myself giving myself class. The second one I had to cancel because I had such a late night the night before. But my hope is I want to try and get 3 good classes in a week at home for about a month, and then it's back to class with real live people and a real live teacher, which, eek! Yeah, that gives me a little anxiety. But so far, the ankle's feeling really good. The hamstring is still, I got a referral out. Oh, well, that shows you this particular thimble. This is plastic, and the needle just went through it, and that hurt. So I need a metal thimble, but that is in my sewing kit, which is in another room. So I'm going to see if I can keep just using the side of this thimble for now, because I don't want to leave this stream again. Let's just stay put. King, 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 king. What was I saying earlier? Oh, yeah, hamstring. So I've got a referral for a physical therapy place to go and work on my hamstring. It is getting better slowly. It's just not, you know, again, good, better, best. I can get my leg up to about here when I'm stretching, and I want it here. Oh, wah, wah, wah. Here you guys can see now, here's where we're at so far on the stitching. Okay, we're already at 2:30, so I'm going to try and speed this up. If I can get this done and then maybe even some elastic, that would be great. Any of you guys dealing with any injuries out there? Everybody hanging in? I know injuries are... I just found out Stella Abrera, you know, I put up a little community poll just asking which was your favorite ABT ballerina. And I specifically didn't mention Isabella because I wanted to sort of focus on non-white dancers. I know everybody likes Isabella, and she apparently is really nice. So that's great, but one of the dancers I mentioned was Stella Abrera, and she is now retired, but she was the first Asian Philippine dancer to go principal level at ABT. And it happened at exactly the same time as Misty Copeland, and Misty got a lot more press than I think Stella did. But that doesn't, I mean, you know, they're both amazing. But anyways, I found out when I was doing a little research on Stella, her career was almost ended like 10 years prior to some kind of sciatic nerve injury. And you just think about all the dancers out there who are so incredible, but then an injury just sidelines their career, and it's just boom, done, over, like that. And you go, holy... How do you start over again? I mean, I went through that a little bit with my foot injury. But what really ticks me off about my foot injury back in the day was that had I really known the right way to fix it, I might have continued a lot longer. But I didn't know. My family didn't believe in doctors, for God's sake. I mean, I did go get, I finally did go, but I went with my parents. I was still really young. I was really scared because I'd never been to doctors. And, you know, the thing with stress fractures is you can't see them on an x-ray. You have to do an MRI scan. And I don't think we actually did the MRI scan. And I can't remember if it was because it was expensive or because we were religious or what, but I never ended up doing it. And, you know, if someone had just known better, they would have said, hey, just put your foot in a boot 5-6 weeks and you'll be fine. And then had I known, hey, don't worry, the ballet company you're with isn't going to fire you at the end of this season just because you have an injury. They will absolutely keep you on, guaranteed, for one more season because they believe in your talent. That kind of thing. And I swear to God, in America, it's like all you do is just worry, am I going to get fired? 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 Because you get injured and they can't use you. They're like, oh, next. That sucks. Maybe it's different now. Maybe. I mean, from everything I'm seeing, it is not. Dancers are still struggling with that kind of atmosphere in the company life. And I think that's a shame. I really do. Now, I am not a company director, so I'm sure they have their side of the story to share too. I think it'd be really interesting to get more interviews with company directors to talk about their perspective and what all they're dealing with and why. Why do you fire dancers so indiscriminately? At least that's how it feels from my side. From our side, I should say, because again, it's not just me. There we go. Okay, we're getting to a groove. Now, something that's happening I'm noticing is as I'm pulling it through, it keeps twisting. So sometimes you have to just kind of go through, pull your thread straight. And I'm following, you'll see, there's just sort of this line that you follow. You can sort of see where the platform is. If you can't really tell, sometimes maybe just drawing a little line around it if you need a guideline, so to speak. That can be helpful. I've done it so many times now. I know where. If you do it too far inside, you're going to have an even smaller platform. Maybe you want that. I want a bit of a wider platform. See, what's interesting to me is because these shoes are so soft, see how it's doing this little twisty thing? Wait, can you see that? Yeah, that. It's getting all bunched up. So I'm trying to straighten that out. There you are, you little twist. So the thread is just getting twisted. You can see the twist. And I just want to slowly, this is the thing you can do is use your finger as you slowly pull it through to guide it. There we go. Come on. No, don't do that. You need to do that. There we go. Boom. Ah. What was I talking about? I can't remember. Oh well. Too bad. It can't be that important. Hopefully not. Get straight. You straighten out, mister. No. Ah, there we go. If you're not careful, it will rip. Why are you being so twisted? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm going to use my seam ripper, not to rip the thread, but just to separate it, and then come down, get all that. There we go. Now it's all kind of in order. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Come back through the other side. There we go. Yeah, you're still trying to twist. I see that, but we're not going to let you. Aha! There we go. Much better. All right, you guys. Anybody who's new coming in, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it. Are you a dancer? What kind of a dancer? Are you a modern dancer just here to see what is the Pointe Shoe life like? Are you a ballet dancer? Do you dance professionally? Do you dance pre-professionally? Or are you an adult dancer? Maybe you're a retired dancer. There's so many different kinds, right? And it's exciting to see. One of the things I do love on social media is that there's just a whole new plethora of older dancers. And when I say older, that pretty much means anything over 25 at this point. But even, 55, 65, there's a whole new contingent that are coming out of the woodwork to say, hey, we love to dance. We're still doing it. Some of them are even doing it professionally, No, they may not be doing the puppy mill of the ballet companies in America or whatever, but there's a lot of ways you can dance professionally. It's really kind of exciting the way the industry is changing and improving, I think. hopefully we can call out more of the BS. You know, make it a healthier place to perform. Now, here's something interesting I was thinking about, you guys. So right now, the Writers Guild of America is on strike. If any of you guys know about that, these are all the writers who write, particularly for TV, right? And movies, but especially TV, because, you know, with AI coming in and with all these streaming services, the biggest, I mean, well, there's many big issues, but one of the issues has been, you know, back in the day, when your show that you've written on, you're a writer on a show, and it goes on TV, you get, besides payment, you get what's called residuals, kind of like royalties for musicians. And depending on the number of times the show airs, there's different tiers of payment that you get paid. Well, when everything moved into streaming, suddenly they're like, oh, well, it's just always streaming. So they weren't getting any residuals, or maybe just pennies. Pennies. All right? I just read an article. If you guys have seen Squid Game on Netflix, yeah. Squid Game made Netflix, like, I think hundreds of millions of dollars. The writer got zero of that. Zero residuals. That's fudge nuts, people. So they're on strike, and, you know, it's just, what's interesting to me is to hear the stories of abuse of power. They don't care about our artists. And I was thinking, God, I remember all of us talking about that when I was dancing in ballet companies. This sense of these company directors just do not seem to have our best interests at heart. And maybe they think they do, but it's weird. The turnover rate is so high, you know. I just wonder. I'm like, company directors, do you guys care about your dancers, or because you've been through the abusive system yourself, you just don't know how to handle it? I don't know. Does anyone know of any really wonderful, loving ballet company directors that are beloved? And then you could say, well, in every company, there's certain dancers who are going to love the director and certain dancers are going to hate the director. That's true, I guess. But I'd be really curious to hear. Like, does anyone know of a director who is just universally loved? And I mean company director, not just choreographer, because that's a different job. Not just guest teacher, that's a different job. Company director. And I understand the company director has to make tough choices, right? I mean, you know, are you the parent? And you're not always going to be appreciated for what you have to do. But on the other hand, it just, to me, it always felt like us against them. And I didn't like that, you know? I wonder if they love the Alvin Ailey director and Alvin Ailey. I wonder if it's different in the modern dance world. You know? I mean, I only touched on that. Yeah. All right, guys, we are getting around. Look, we are getting closer. You can see where I'm at. You can see those X's much better on the top of the shoe, right? Looks a little janky down here, but it's way better on the top. That's usually how it is on my shoes. I'm remembering now, like, oh yeah, it always starts out a little funky on the bottom and then starts looking really pretty on the top. I don't know why. Sure, there's a reason. Meh, I'm not going to worry about it. Now you'll notice also I'm running out of thread. I think I'm going to have just the right amount to get all the way around. There'll be a little bit left. But, you know, you're trying not to waste thread, right? I mean, especially as a dancer, you're always trying to economize. Economize and save your pennies. There we go. That's better. Oh my God, I miss doing this. That's funny. Well, it's not a chore anymore, is it? Well, I can remember kind of liking doing it, though, even. I mean, you know, when you're in rehearsal and you're just sitting around waiting, you may as well sew some shoes. Or when you're watching TV, sew some shoes. At church, sew some shoes. I don't do church anymore, but boy, that would have been great. Go to church and sew some shoes. Show some shoes. Sew some shoes. There we go. All right. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for being here today on this live stream. We are sewing pointe shoes. I'm working on darning the tips of my shoes. If you haven't already, be sure to give the video a like, comment, subscribe, hit the ding-a-ling to get notifications. And if you have any particular video requests, please do let me know. I would love to know kind of what y'all are craving these days in terms of videos. We're getting closer to finishing this side, and it's 2:42 already. No! Maybe I'll just try and finish one shoe. I think I might do that. Yeah, I'll do the elastic and the ribbons on this shoe, so we'll have one fully finished shoe. La la la. Plus, that gives me a break, because darning, right, my fingers do get sore. Like, I'll get a little bit of callus here from the pulling of the needle, and you get a little bit, your fingers get tired, so it's good to switch things up. So you'll do some darning, and then maybe you'll do a little bit of just straight sewing, and then that kind of thing. Okay, we're coming around to the finish line. I'm so excited about this. Boom. And since I'm not in a terrible rush to get these shoes on my feet like this week, I've got a couple other pairs I can work on, assuming I even do that yet, because I am still just getting back into a class mentality at all. Then I'll probably throw another Pointe Shoe Party next weekend, assuming I have time, which I think I do. So I'll have another Pointe Shoe Party next weekend, same time, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard. Okay, so here's the deal. You can see now I'm getting close to the finish line where I'm coming back around to that same place I started. Now, if I put another knot there, that's again going to make it even thicker, something even, possibly more problematic. So it's finding a way to finish your knot at the end without adding a lot of extra bulk of thread on the shoe. So let's see what happens here. Flip, pulling it through as tight as we can. Okay, I got to take the thimble off for a minute. There we go. This music is putting me a little bit to sleep, I'm not going to lie. Sorry, guys. But you need royalty-free music, because musicians also deserve to get paid. You go, well, what about this musician? Well, this one, it was licensed as such. Oh, I think it's okay. So, I've done a trick where I've kind of pulled it down underneath, like that. And I'm feeling pretty confident that that's going to stay put. I might do one more little knotty knot. Let's see. Maybe just this. There we go. I'm also working to try and get a second camera so that you can watch my hands as I'm talking simultaneously. It's just taking a little bit of time to figure out logistics. So now I'm cutting the thread. Here we go. Boop. We have cut the thread. Remember, always put your needle back in a safe place so that it doesn't stab you later. There is the finished product. Okay? So you can see all the stitches. That's got a pretty good platform. I'm curious to see if I put it... Okay, the shoe isn't quite balanced to just stand on its own because it's got too much weight going in this direction, but that's okay. Also, just so you guys know, for me, for my shank, you'll see here what I did with these. I pull this back, and then I just cut just a little bit, because this filler between the cardboard shank and then the bottom, here's the actual shank, right? This is a very hard shank. I need it for my feet. But it probably went up a little bit higher. I trimmed it just a little bit, but I kept the tongue, right, so that it's protected. If you cut it all off, which I used to do back in the day, then you've got it digging into your foot. You're going to get all kinds of yuck blisters and things there. So you want to have that protection. And I haven't squashed the box too much. I've done that in the past where I squish it too much and then it just breaks down too fast. So again, you have to kind of know your feet. Now, so this elastic you can see here, there's some remnants of thread from when I used it before, because I recycle my elastic. So I'm going to make sure I pull all of these little extra pieces of thread out. I'll start a little trash pile here. There we go. Love it. You guys, thanks for hanging with me today. It means a lot. I really appreciate y'all being here. There we go. It's kind of satisfying. Pulling out that old thread. You could probably wash these too if you wanted to. This does not look too dirty. I don't think I need to. And also, this is where your seam ripper comes in handy to just kind of get underneath and pull that thread out. See? Boom. Yep, you are still in there. Where are you? There you go. Gone. That's looking pretty good. Got one more knot over here. Again, every little knot, every little piece remaining can rub on your foot. And at first you're like, oh, that's no big deal. But then you dance for a little while and suddenly you have this gnawing, horrible pain. And it can really, not only is it not good for your foot, but it also distracts you. Like when you're performing and all you can think about is this blister in your foot, and so it's like you're trying to just la 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 you know, and then you have to like disassociate from your body. You know, talk about high threshold for pain. Dancers, we have it. But you want to avoid that as much as possible. You want to be able to just enjoy the dance. You've got enough to think about with technique and style and musicality and all that. Okay, so there's my piece. Now, these ends aren't too frayed, but let me see. I am going to just burn the ends just a little bit to seal them. Again, now, because there is elastic in here, if I burn this, it can sometimes melt the elastic, and that melted elastic also turns into this painful knob that can rub on your foot. So you have to be mindful of all of that. You want to just the very ends. You say, whoop, try not to catch it on fire. You're just trying to make sure it won't fray. You're just trying to stop it from fraying. So you really don't get it too close. Yep, see, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Okay, let that cool. Woo, burnt rubber. Nothing like it, y'all. So this is my right foot we're working on. Okay, here comes a foot. I just found out apparently there's like a bunch of foot enthusiasts who have added some of my videos where I'm working on my bunions to try and, like, you know, heal them or fix them or you know, reduce the pain, and they add them to their like gross foot fetish playlist, and I gotta figure out if I can like get mine removed. That's just so gross. I don't know, but then on the other hand you're like, well, but whatever, so they like feet, big deal. I don't know, I go and I'm like, I don't know, you guys. Okay, so here's the foot. Alright, so my nails, when you're doing this, you should have your nails trimmed. Mine, they need a little trimming. My third toenail, for some reason, it always just likes to go like really, it's like rawr, it grows fast and it's pointy. I'm okay though for today, alright. So let's put in the perfect fit. Now I could just put these in with nothing. That can affect though the way the shoe fits, you guys. Let's see, that is the left toe. Let's try the right toe. Boop, boop, boop. Put on the perfect fit. Assuming it even still fits. Because it's been a long time. Oh yeah, it has been a long time. Hello. Are you going in there? Music, you are not helping. It's like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, look. You need to go to a different place. That's better. Something different. Okay, so now the perfect fit is on the foot. It's on the foot. Now we take the shoe. And I feel like Julia Childs. If Julia Childs is doing ballet, we're doing the Pointe Shoe over the perfect fit. Is it going to go? I wonder if I built these perfect fits on a different type of shoe. It goes. It's a little tight. I don't know if I can use my perfect fit with these. Yeah, that's not feeling great, you guys. Nope. Okay, so instead, I'm going to just I will use these with my Grishkos. I think that's what I fit them on. So remember when you're doing perfect fits, if you have different styles of shoes you're using, your perfect fits may not work in each different style if you fit them in a Grishko. Because see, my Grishko, it's just, I don't know if you can tell this. Dancers can, you may not, but the Grishko has a longer profile here than the Russian Pointe. So we'll see. I really like my perfect fit inserts. They're really comfy and fantastic. But for today, I mean, remember, for a while there, I wasn't wearing anything in my pointe shoes, but right now I'm like, F it. I'm going to just use a little pre-made lambswool guy here. Bloop. Going to pop it on. Bloop. And I'm going to pop on the shoe. Bloop. The reason I'm doing this, y'all, is to then find the best place to put the elastic. So, get the shoe on. Oh, that's what's going on, too. I think my feet are a little swollen. Straight up, guys. There we go. Okay, so now we have the shoe on, all right? So there she is. What can I... There, can you see? There you go. So pretty. Boop. It feels actually pretty good. Yep, I've got a little, so when I flex, I can feel some discomfort here because the elastic is pulling on my Achilles heel like I was talking about. And I also don't have tights on right now. Tights will definitely help protect. I may need to put a piece of toe tape there. I love toe tape to protect it. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it. So what I'm going to do is I've got the shoe. I'm going to take the elastic. Here, excuse me. Actually, what I should have done is you just go ahead and pre-sew, right? Let's see if I can get that so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to start, the elastic's going to go on this side. And I don't like to put mine directly on the back of the ankle, okay? I always put it to the side. As I was saying earlier, that way it's pulling up from the side of my foot instead of pulling up directly on my Achilles heel, which exacerbates my tendonitis. So let's see if I put it there. And again, I don't sew down very far. Some dancers, they want their elastic to go all the way down to the bottom of the shoe and it pulls up from the bottom. Everyone has their own preference. But if I do that and I gotta hold it in place, now if I bring it around, I'm doing a test here. Is that long enough? It is just long enough. It's a little tight, but it's just long enough. So I am good to go. Again, I've done this long enough that I can tell it's gonna work okay. Something you might wanna do is just sew one side, then you put the shoe on with the one side sewn in, and you pull it around to the other side and feel it out, okay? Let's do it. Okay, we have. I'm going to go over a little bit because I want to get this shoe done, you guys. So it's 2:53. You know what? We're going to go a little bit later. I need a needle. So I got my little needle pack here. This pack's okay. The only thing is that, you know, it's got the little opening. You twist it around and you can then slide a needle out. But sometimes it can twist on its own and the needles are falling out. That can be problematic. You're trying to keep needles away from your hands when you're tossing everything in your dance bag. And then I use waxed dental floss, all right? For me, I like that because it goes in and out a lot faster, a lot more easily, and I always double it. I just get the cheap stuff. Some people, you like that because it can go in and out fast. You can pull things out if you need to seam rip. But other people don't like it because if your knots aren't good, then it falls out, and then you're dancing on stage with no ribbon. I'm going to try this needle. Let's see what happens here with one of these. Do we like this? I think we do. Let's see. Again, I'm going to give this a test. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Okay. He puts the thread through the needle. Again. That didn't work at all in my head. Okay. So, I could single it. No, I'm gonna double it. I just should have made it longer. This is really short. I don't like having to rethread a lot. In case you hadn't noticed, I do find that to be a pain in the arse. Once again, you guys, for all of you who are here watching, I really appreciate it. Love it. Welcome to my channel, Ballerina Badass. You're going, who does she think she is? Well, I am a badass just because like, people are like, oh, if you have to call yourself that, you're definitely not. And it's like, no, you know what? People have called me that for years, and not necessarily always as a compliment. They're like, oh, you know, you're just such a badass. You walk around like you're going to kick someone's butt, which in New York City, in my 20s, I kind of had to. It just was a self-protection thing. Yeah, but really it's more about ballet being badass. You say, oh, then why don't you call it ballet badass? Because it didn't roll off the tongue as well, people. So, I think ballet can be really badass when it's not being infantilized and, oh, be a good little girl in your good little pink tutu. Yeah. It's like, no, you know what? This is a really difficult art form, and it has a lot of elements of sport. These days, I think it has a little bit too much elements of sport. Whatever. That's my opinion. A lot more sport, a lot less art these days. But you know what? There's exceptions to every rule. For all the complaining out there, you guys, there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people who say, back in my day it was better, or back in my day it was worse. And you know, that's just the beauty of life and getting older and all that crap. The choice you make is A, you keep your eyes open. In my opinion, keep your eyes open. Stand up to injustice when and where you can. And you have to make a choice about that too, right? And then you stay positive. I mean, they always say what? Prepare for the worst. No, expect the worst. Prepare for the best and expect the worst. I forget. Okay, I can already tell the knot back here. There we go. If I press it down, it's not too bad. I also make sure I do not sew through the elastic. When I mean like directly through it, because that will impede the... When I say the elastic, what I mean is I don't sew through the drawstring, because then that impedes the drawstring's ability to stretch all the way around. So I'm just, again, doing just kind of an in and out thing here along the bottom of the elastic. You can see where I'm kind of setting it up here. All right, so I'm going to go across the bottom, and then I'm going to come up to the top and finish it up there. So let's get that done. Dun, 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 dun. It's finally getting hot here in LA. Oh my gosh, finally! You want to talk about June gloom. We had mega June gloom, but not just the gloom, like, it was cold. And when I say cold, I know you're all probably like, you don't even know what cold is, and you're right. California, Southern California does not know what cold is, because in Southern California, when it gets down to 60, you're like, ooh, it's chilly. I don't like it. Now, as I'm doing this also, I'm not going all the way through the shoe. I did on the first couple of stitches, but you'll see here, right? I've sewn all the way across the bottom. Whoop, keep it there, Georgia. Right down in here is where I've sewn, but you don't see it on this side. Now, that's not a big deal. It's not, again, this is not about, it has to look beautiful for the audience. I mean, look, you don't want to be using necessarily purple thread on performance shoes, so then they see all that. But on the other hand, it doesn't have to be. It can be close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. Okay, people? That's what I'm saying. So, all right. Get it in, get it out. This is always tricky when the elastic gets in the way. There we go. There we go. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yep. Try and keep it here where you can see a little bit of what I'm doing. Again, when I get that second camera, right, Tommy? It's going to be so awesome. Because then you can simultaneously watch what my hands are doing. And then you can look at my punum as I go, hey, everybody. What's up? How you doing? Okay. Going through it. Boop, going through it. Yes. I'll tell you what. The thing I noticed was after doing a ballet class, even my own class in my home gym, my energy just soared. I was tired, but good tired. It felt so good to do that again. I don't know. All right, I'm going to finish off the knot. Bloop. There we go. Trim it. Boom. Let me show you guys. So on the inside of the shoe, there you go. Right? So I got the line down there holding that in place, and then I got the line up here, which if you turn it around on the other side, you can see. Boop. All right, and it's pretty darn stable. Love that. So now I'm going to do the other side. I've got a little bit of thread left, but it's not a lot. I also don't like to stop and start a new thread partway through sewing. I like to use just one thread per section. Does that make sense? Like, I wouldn't want to have to tie one knot and then start a new piece of thread and then do a separate thing on here just for this elastic. One piece of thread. So I'm going to take this one out because it's not long enough. There we go. Get it nice. I always go yank all the way to the end of my arm, and that's usually long enough to last me for a decent amount of time. Decent amount of time there. Yes, lovey. Right. Get in there. Oh, it's splitting. The cheaper threads love to split. Little stinkers that they are. There you are. Boop. Yay. Hooray. Nice. And again, you can use a single thread instead of double, but what I've noticed is when I use a single, then somehow it kind of tears through, like especially on the ribbons, it sort of rips against them. There's something weird about it. The double thread doesn't seem to do that as much. Is any of this making sense, people? I don't understand. Okay. Other side, other side, other side, other side. Trying to match it. There we go. Yes, beauty baby. There you are, my darling. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling elastic band. There we are. Excellent. Now, ooh, the wind's picking up. I'm going to turn the elastic. I'm going to turn the heel inside out so that I can see as I'm working here. Stay put. There you are. There you are, darling. And here we go. You know what I miss the most, you guys? It's so funny. Nutcracker. I do. And I know it's, I mean, the more we're learning, the more we're realizing how problematic the Nutcracker really is. Should it keep going? How can we do it in a way that honors the cultures and stops being, you know, racist? But that music and just, well, it's just the memories, you know, so many memories from my childhood and my parents and all that. It really is just special to me. I mean, I think it's special to a lot of people because it's all wrapped up with Christmas and all of that, right? So, do I miss performing it? That's a tough one. It depends. Depends on which performance we're doing, you know. Hated that last one I did, which I think you all know. I don't need to beat that dead horse. But I love those guest performances I did up in Corona. Those were a lot of fun. It was a really nice group of people. Really nice bunch of young dancers. They were sweet. And my partner was amazing, Clinton. But then it's like, but would you want to do it again day in, day out? Would you want to be in a company again? Hell no. I love what I'm doing now. Doing film and television, acting, stand-up. That's so much fun. And it's what I wanted to do my whole life. And finally I'm doing it, you know? And you go, wait a minute, I thought you wanted to do dance. Well, when I look back and I see, I really wanted to do both, but ballet was like, you have to do it now or else. I think, though, if I'd had my way, I probably would have gone into acting and left the ballet thing a lot sooner. My parents, especially my mom and my grandma, and my dad too, they thought ballet was the right thing to do. They thought it was appropriate. They never felt like acting was a very, you know, because you might be doing love scenes or being really bad people, and just they looked down on acting. You know what I mean? They thought it was just inappropriate. And ballet is an art form. That is just so good. And I was a people pleaser. I still deal with people pleasing sometimes, but especially my parents. Yeah, I wanted to please my parents. I wanted them to love me. I wanted them to accept me. I didn't want them to, you know, kick me out. So I did ballet. Damn right I did. And it was a challenge. It's a big challenge. But yeah, it's interesting. Do I regret it? Can't regret. For me, I think I still occasionally will have regrets, but in general, I try not to because I think it's just a waste of time. You got to look at all of it as well. You know, it's all part of this. Oh my gosh, we're getting into all the cheesy stuff. We're getting so cheesy here. Oh, Mr. McIntyre, right on. Thanks for being here. Did I say it right? Did I say that right, Mr. McIntyre? You're very good at accent. It's hilarious. Oh, is it hilarious? Yes, Mr. McIntyre. Mr. McIntyre. Perhaps it's McIntyre. Perhaps it's McTierney. McIntyre. Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is that I wish ballet could be sillier. And it's like, you look at that one with like the 6 or 7 girls in the blue leotards and skirts, and they're doing it's a silly little ballet, and it's like, ooh, it's a little silly, but like, you know, and you've got moments in Alice in Wonderland. Okay, no kidding, definitely, if I could do the Queen of Hearts, if I could perform the Queen of Hearts role in Alice in Wonderland, I would love to do that one. I would love to do that, and I do. I always wished I could do Juliet. Yeah, if you're like, well, what about the Swan Queen? Nah. I mean, it's beautiful and all, but it's like, I like Dying Swan. That's incredible, but the Swan Queen, yeah, Romeo and Juliet, but then above all, definitely the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. That is just like the most. I love it. It's the perfect combination of brilliance, technicality, and absolute farcical comedy. I adore it, and I think I would have killed it. I do. I really do. So, you know, ballet gods, if you're looking down, if I got the chance to do that, that would be really cool. I don't know where in the hell that would ever happen, but that would be pretty dang awesome. All right. Guess what? We finished the other side. Now we're just doing ribbons. It's 3:07. We're going to see if we can get these ribbons done in 20 minutes or less, folks, because we got stuff to do. Now look, there's a nice bit of thread left that I think can definitely work. Let's look at the shoe. So now you can see both sides. There you go. All right, take a look at that. You can see there's a little bit of thread left right here. I might trim that or I might not. I don't know. I don't think it's going to cause me any harm. Doesn't feel like it's going to rub wrong. Oh, and this is, why is that coming down? Come up. There you go. That little lip of fabric there. So there you go. So now it's ribbon time. Now with ribbons, this is also interesting. Where does the ribbon go? For me, I want it to pull up in a place that's going to then feature my arch as best as possible. It's also, you know, to keep the shoe on. But let me put the shoe back on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Here we go. Try not to get your feet into the elastic. So here we go. Foot. All right. Shoe on foot. We put this part on. Then I put the little toe pad on. Then shoe. Shoe fly, don't bother me. Get on my foot, please. The elastic up. I know. So fun. So fun. Dancers look so awkward so much of the time. It's just hilarious. Okay. So there's the elastic. Come on, get into view. How do I... There we go. You guys, you're not going backwards on screen. You're like, how does this work? It's a little tight for my taste, okay? Look, I'm trying to be cheap and I'm reusing old elastic. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. And the shoe, you can already see my arch is almost popping out of the shoe because that's the kind of arches I have, which you're like, oh, you're so lucky you have these beautiful arches. It's also a curse, okay? I'm just telling you, you got to strengthen around it in so many other ways that I am still to this day learning how to do it in a way that's healthy for my body, that's going to support my feet. So if you look at the shoe, okay, come on. Back it up. Here we go. So there's the shoe, right? You can see there's the arch. So I like to put the ribbon right where my arch is so that it pulls right there. Just gonna look the most flattering for my foot and keep the shoe on, right here. So that's where I'm gonna sew it. Yep, it looks like this time. Sometimes I've sewn it and you can mark it, right? You can either mark it with a pen or sometimes it'll go a little bit, if it goes behind, that's gonna give your foot a different look. Maybe you want more of this area featured. If you go lower, there's so many ways to play with it. And what's great is you can sew the ribbon on, try it out, feel it, and then if you don't like it, you can just carefully, using your seam ripper, pull that ribbon out, pull all those stitches out, and then place the ribbon in a different area. Which sometimes if you're just starting out and figuring out your preferences, that can be really helpful. For me also, I've noticed, like, I used to do the crisscross on my shoes, but then on some shoes, when I did it, the elastic actually would pull my foot, I think because my feet were just not strong enough, let's face it, but it would pull my foot into a weird alignment in the shoe, so I couldn't really get a good hold on the shoe. These are all these different things you got to think about. Notice I'm taking that toe filler out again because I don't want any kind of extra heat just breaking the shoe down. Ribbon time! Here we go, guys. Ribbon time. So it comes usually as one long piece. There are the ends. Great. So what I'm going to do, fold it into fours. Some people, again, they like to do one long ribbon and they sew it somehow to the shoe, but no, I do my way is cut it into 4 pieces. Make sure they're all equal. And then we're going to immediately use our lighter to burn the edges so that they do not fray. Again, you do not want fraying. Fraying is the worst. So let's fan these 4 out. If you try to do them together like this, sometimes they'll fuse together. So you do have to do each one separately. Oh, this is a nice ribbon. Block, if you're listening. I like this ribbon y'all made. It's really nice. It's just got a nice, it's thick. Doesn't feel flimsy. Come on. You know what? We're not doing it that way. I'm just going to do it one at a time. Because, okay. Again, you don't want to do it just too close. It's going to light the ribbon on fire. And then you got fire. And meh. Get it. Come on. Near it. And you don't even have to touch it with the flame hardly, and you can see it melting. One, and you let it off each time because, you know, lighters aren't meant to like stay on for too long, so you want to give it a rest. 2. Yep. You gotta do both sides, so we're doing one side first. 3. A little close for that one. You can see it got a little bit burnt. A little bit crispy. And also, yes, when you're tucking your ribbons in, all of these little bits of, you know, burnt ends and things can also cause rubbing against your shoe and against your skin and discomfort, especially if you have to do a ballet with no tights. So think about that as you're sewing and as you're trying things on. You got to feel that out. You don't want to be dealing with that on stage or in the middle of class. There we go. 2, and here's the 3rd. Whoop. And, ooh, yep, see, that stuck a little bit. That's so funny. When it's hot, you don't want to get it near the rest of the ribbon or it will stick to the rest of the ribbon. 4. Okay, so these two got a little burnt. I'm going to fold them under. We'll set these two aside for the other shoe for another day. All right, ribbons, you guys. Here we go. So, everyone who is here, if you've just come, thank you so much for showing up to my live stream today. I really appreciate it. You guys are like my accountability buddies because I'm showing up and getting this stuff done. Now, ribbons. Everyone has a different way of doing them. I don't even remember. How did I used to do my ribbons? Okay, here's some old ribbons from a previous shoe, and I do like this way. These happen to be the elastic ones. What I do is I sew them on the inside. Some people sew them on the outside, but I like the inside, and if you want to see what it looks like on the inside, there we go. That's what it looks like. So you've got, again, stitching on the bottom and stitching on the top. Did I stitch on the sides? No, so I didn't bother stitching along the sides, just along the bottom and along the top, and you'll see I had folded it under to hide the end of the ribbon, okay? So then there's even less of a chance of the ribbon fraying. So let's do that again here for these. Here's my ribbon. As you can see, I've got it, I can fold it under. Now, some ribbons you'll notice also, some ribbons have a shiny side and a, like, flat side. There's another word for it, but non-shiny side. So sometimes dancers prefer to have the non-shiny side sticking out. Some people want the shiny side sticking out. That's another thing you can think about. But it looks like these are the same on either side. If not, well, I can't really tell the difference. Plus, I'm not too concerned for these shoes. So again, for this shoe, I found where I wanted it to go. It looks like it's going to straddle. My ribbon is going to straddle this seam line right here. So that's where I'm going to sew it. I've got my thread ready. Is it knotted? Let's see. Did I knot it yet? I did not. Okay. I did not knot it. Knot it. Let's do it. Doing okay. We're doing okay, you guys. We have 15 minutes. Can we get 2 ribbons done in 15 minutes? I don't know. Get on with the knot. Come on, my darling. There you go. Just got to make sure it really is going to stay. Not unthread. There you are. Nice. So we'll trim that little bit of leftover. There you go. Yes. All right. Now, back to my ribbon. There it is, folded in. Gonna put it right on the inside of the shoe, just below where the drawstring is, because I don't want to, remember, you don't want to sew through the drawstring. You want to sew around the drawstring, above the drawstring, below the drawstring, not through the drawstring, because then you can't use the drawstring. And you go, oh, but you've finished your drawstring. There might be a time where you're in the middle of performing, and then for some reason your foot has swollen up, and you got to just get that drawstring out of there. If you sewed it in place, that's difficult. Then you've still got it pulling. There's so many different reasons why you do not want that to happen. Now I'm gonna, I can't wait till we have the double camera so you can see, but I'm gonna tuck the needle underneath this little bit of extra fabric so then the knot is hidden under there, which means the knot is not gonna come into contact. The knot won't come into contact with my skin, which is great. Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. One less point of pain. Hurrah! Yep, for this I'm just gonna do a little basty seam. Not worried about this. This is more just to hold the ribbon in place and keep that frayed in, which is not frayed, but the melted in, hidden. I feel like I'm more talking to myself than you right now. Ha ha ha. Talking to myself. Oh. There we go. Catch you. And I do like to have my corners down tight. How will I do that? I think I'll put it this way. Wish you all could see what I see. It's magic. There we go. Just like that. And just like that, Georgia's almost got the first ribbon done. Okay, now, so far, so you guys can see. You all see that? Right? Yeah. Okay, now we're going up to the top half, because right now, if you look at the outside, the ribbon, yeah, it's on the shoe, but it's loose from the top of the elastic. It's not going to be flush, and it's still pretty weak. You want that ribbon, you're going to be yanking on it pretty dang hard, and your shoes, your feet are going to be pulling against it as well, so you definitely want it to be sewed along the top as well. There we go, yes. I'm going pretty fast here because we want to get this done. Again, if you're just coming in, I'll be working on my comedy bits and videos for my other channel, which is Georgiffy, Georjiffy. It's where my acting and comedy and sketch comedy and all that good stuff resides. And I'm building a new website, and that'll be sort of like the central place to go for all of that, plus all things Ballerina Badass. So, I'll still have the Ballerina Badass YouTube channel. I do have a Ballerina Badass Instagram account now again. I've opened that back up. I think I've got just a few followers right now, but it's coming along, and it's, you know, where I can make announcements and reach out a little bit more to the dance community. And I do have a blog, but I am slowly bringing the blog back. But little by little, we're figuring it out, you know? It's always a process, you guys. There we go. We are finishing up. That just a little bit further down below. Yes. Don't want a knot that's going to rub on my skin. No, thank you. There we go. That's pretty great. And then we're going to cut it. And I'll show you guys how it looks. Okay. There you go. So there it is. Boom. Now I put it just, it's interesting. If you look really closely, it's almost straddling, but it's actually a little bit further down below that line, and that's where I like it. Yeah, but you can pull on this. Look at that. Yank, yank, yank. So that's the outside of the shoe, and then if I show you the inside of the shoe, that's what it looks like on the inside. There you go. So you can see that stitching. All right, and again, when we pull on it, all right. So there you go. Okay, next one. We got one more ribbon, y'all. One more ribbon, y'all. More trash. I'm going to go ahead and do a long piece because I like a long piece, and then I can just use this again later. All right, here we go. We'll get under the light so we can see light by light. There we go. Through. Boom, pull it through, find the ends, put them together. Hey, have any of you guys done the Grimace Shake incident yet? Oh my god. We actually, we got a Grimace Shake at McDonald's. It is delicious. It's like frozen ice cream, no wait, frozen cereal milk. Yeah, it tastes like if cereal milk was turned into ice cream, like from Captain Crunch or something like that, which I love. Oh my god, with the berries. With the berries. So good. And I know you can make it at home. I think it's just like, what, vanilla ice cream and berries and whatever. But it's really tasty. And I am loving all of the videos. There we go. Oh, Miriam, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm sorry I had to bounce out of that last live. I was going to do, giving myself class on Friday. I couldn't do it. I was worn out. But I am hoping again to start up this week with giving myself class live. And you guys, it's just me doing bar for myself. It's not a lesson. It's not a class for everyone else so much. It's just me working on stuff. And, watch it for entertainment. Watch it to see what would you do or not do, and etc. But for me, it's an accountability thing to show up and get back in shape, And I think all of it's interesting. Okay, on this side, we're going to match it. There we go. Let's do it, y'all. There we go. Oh, I didn't do it right this time. I didn't put the knot underneath the fabric like I did last time. Okay, I'm going to do a little cheat. I'm just going to lay the satin over it. So there we go. Again, can't wait to have that second camera. Y'all can really see what I'm doing as I'm talking. Good, better, best, people. Good, better, best. That's how it goes. There we go. That ain't waking. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your checks for free. Dire Straits. Any fans of Dire Straits out there? Maybe, maybe not. Anybody know who the guest voice was on that? He came in and said, I want my MTV. I know y'all just be creeping. Y'all just be creeping up on these live streams. That's fine. I ain't mad at you. Okay. I am really pushing through this because I want to get this done. Because a sense of accomplishment, people. Let me tell you. Boop. Okay, now let's come around. Yep, there we go. Okay, we are halfway through. So you can see there's the bottom half. Now I'm moving up to the top half, starting on this side. Here we go. All right, anybody have anything that they are grateful for this week and or any kind of goals for this coming week? All right, we are coming into the week of July, 10th? Yep. So 10th through the 15th, anybody have any major goals? I want to know. I know my goals are, I am working on a project that I am writing, and I would like to be able to get to the second, to the halfway mark. That is my goal for that this week. And then I will be volunteering for the WGA strike. I will be, if any of you guys are in the LA area, I'm going to be at the NBC Universal lot on Tuesday and Wednesday this week in the morning. So if you happen to be in the area and you want to come say hi, but more importantly, you want to come and support the WGA, Writers Guild of America, very cool, please do come out. Be sure you bring sunscreen. Lots of sunscreen, lots of water. They have drinks there and things, and they have sunscreen there, but bring your own so that, you're helping out. And that would be awesome. What else for this week? Anybody here? Oh, Hanukkah. Time zone cessed here. Need to go to sleep, but wish you all the best. Oh my God, Hanukkah, thank you so much for coming by. I so appreciate it. Please get good sleep. Sleep is muy importante. I really, really appreciate you being here, and I can't wait to see you again. So please do stay in touch, all right? Later, alligator. I am just finishing up this ribbon, and this is perfect timing, you guys. I'm trying to think of any other major goals this week. To have fun, to keep on breathing. Oh my gosh, you guys, let me tell you. When I started realizing that, especially with ballet, I was not breathing enough because there was so much about, being perfect and holding it all in and trying to muscle your way through the pain. And I'm like, wow. And breathing is so necessary, and it actually helps solve a lot of those problems that I thought I was solving by not breathing. It's the opposite, it turns out. So when you're dancing this week, if you're dancing this week, or maybe you're doing the dishes, or maybe you're just talking to a friend, take a moment, take a big breath, a deep breath, and let it out. It's really fantastic. It is just like, I can't overstate it. I cannot say it enough. Breathing is great. Look at that, you guys. Oh my gosh. You guys. I'm going to take this needle, by the way. When you're finished, what I like to do is I immediately do the next knot for next time, which is really great because then you're all set up and to go. So let's get this knot in here and then get in there. Again, with waxed floss, it's a little harder to knot. That's one of the cons. Okay, there you go. Knot. Come on. Trim it. There we go. And then I just take the needle. Here's my floss. The part where the floss comes, I just drop the needle right into that little hole. Boop. And it is ready to go for next time safe. Right, can't come out, which is nice. So that's ready. Here's the completed pointe shoe. Ta-da! So, you can see, we got ribbons. I'm going to put the shoe on really quick for you guys. There she is, or he, or they. Oh, what are you? Are you a he, they, she? Oh, feeling kind of like a he. That's cool. I dig it. Let's put it on. Putting it on. Oh, Dawn, my goal for this week is to get back into yoga. Yes, and other dance cross training stuff. I feel so out of shape after a few weeks of desk job. Oh my God, Dawn, I feel you 1000%. That was one of the things, doing a desk job for basically 3 years straight. That really threw my body out of whack. Oh my gosh. And I think about all the people who sit at a desk job for most of their lives. Good God. I give you major commendation for doing yoga and other stuff. Pilates is great. If anyone needs a great recommendation for a Pilates teacher, my lifelong friend, she does it over Zoom, I think. Yes, every Sunday. She's out of New York, or the Ohio and New York area. She does the kind of Pilates, it's floor Pilates. It's like an hour-long class. I think it's $15. You can either leave your camera on or off. You don't have to have it on, but if you do have it on, she can look at you and give you just little adjustments. But she is a professional dancer, and she's certified, and she is an amazing teacher. She has helped me so much with my alignment, with all kinds of stuff. So if you ever want that recommendation, shoot me an email. You can just email me at georgiareed@gmail.com. All right, let me know and I can put you in touch with her. Again, she's amazing. Or if you don't want to do the live class every Sunday, if you just want a recorded version, she can curate a recorded Pilates class for you. She has different prices. I think she can give you a recorded version for like $20. It's so cheap, you guys. It is ridiculous. And again, all in the comfort of your own home. And I've done some of her classes. I'm shaking at the end of it because it's not always easy, but it is incredible for fixing and aligning your body. I know, I could talk all day about it. And it's not just because she's my friend, it's because she's really good at what she does. Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay, we're putting the shoe on. I put the little stuff back in. Yeah, my foot is, I can see it. It's swollen, a little bit swollen today. Why are you swollen, my love? Because I'm swollen. Now, with ribbons, okay, so I can already tell I did the the outside of ribbon a little bit off. I may have to redo that, but I do like to flex my foot. You do sort of a weird flexy, stretchy thing. If you put the ribbon on while your foot's pointed, then when you flex your foot, you'll notice you don't have enough room to stand. So you don't want to put the ribbon tight on while you're pointed. You want to kind of flex your foot as you're doing it. You'll feel it out, again, little by little. I always tie mine on the side, once again. Why? So that it doesn't put additional pressure on my Achilles heel. And also, when you are off stage in the dark in a tutu and you have to get into the next pair of shoes, maybe because you need a harder pair for a different part or a different variation you're doing, it's much easier to undo the ribbons when they're on the side than when they're back under here and you can't see in the dark. Okay, so that's why I recommend tie your ribbons on the side. I like them to match, so since we're doing this, you'll notice all my ribbons, one's a little bit longer than the other, but I trim this so that these match over here, like that. I'm going to, oh, yep, I've got a little bit of blood here already. Yep, so the elastic is digging into my heel. What happened, heel? Oh, baby, are you okay? Yeah. Let me cut a little bit. I'm sorry, honey. Oh. I'm going to have to work on that. Let's make sure this one is also, I do not recommend lighting your ribbon while they're on your body, but I've done it for a long time, so again, you don't want to tuck it in too soon or it's going to burn. That really is no fun. Dawn, I love your goals. Those are great. Now we're going to take the ribbons, we're going to fold them up Boop, 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 like that. And then we're going to just tuck them in. You can tuck them under, you can tuck them over, you can, whatever. There you go. So there's that. And here, there's the completed shoe. Ta-da! There you go. Looks pretty good. Let's see if I can do a little, I've done this before. I'm going to see if I can do it. Can I? And can you see what I'm doing? This is really wanky-jawed here. There it is. There's the shoe. I hope you can see, because I can't see anything right now. But there it is, all done. Yep. Ta-da! All right, so that is it. You can see my little cat stuff down there. Cat stuff! Okay, so you guys, yep, there's the top. This is a standing desk, by the way. It's something that I got so that I can stand up and I can type up there, or I can type down here. It's great. Listen, you guys, this has been wonderful. This is the part that, I mean, this is one of the things I love about this channel, is getting to connect with all of you guys and, you know, bond over sewing shoes. Who knew? Be sure, again, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the ding-a-ling thing so you can get updated and notifications for more videos coming out soon. I really appreciate you all being here. Find me on the other socials. I am on Twitter and TikTok as Georgiffy, Georjiffy, and Instagram. I do also have a separate Instagram account for my Ballerina Badass. That is just Ballerina Badass, okay? And I'm just starting that one back up. But enjoy your week. If you have any questions or concerns, hit me up anytime, okay? I really do value all of you. And I will be here again very soon. So if you know the call sign, you know. My name is Georgia Reed. You've been watching Ballerina Badass. Never give up. Never stop dancing. I love you all. Toy, toy, toy.